Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the NFL Sunday Morning Show for Week 10. I'm here with my guys, Football Talk with Bo and James from the Steelers by the Lake podcast. How you guys doing, man?
Good.
Doing well, doing good on a Sunday. Nice to have Steelers football back this weekend.
Yeah. Now, for me, I get a nice break because the Eagles are on at 4:25, so I get like a nice little relaxation period.
There you go.
I got the bye week, so
Ooh,
Oh,
I don't have to worry about my team losing today.
that's always my
Okay.
favorite opponent.
Exactly. Have to lose
So-
on your day off, right?
Yeah.
so I gotta ask, man. So how was your bye week last week?
Oh, man, I ended up doing a whole bunch of yard work. So still caught some football, of course, but just trying to get stuff done around here that I don't always have time to do.
Right.
Now I get why you're so excited about football's back.
Yeah. Almost 30 bags of leaves last weekend. I don't want her to see any more of them,
That's a lot.
That
That
is
is
a
a lot. Yep. So, Bo, let's start with you. Who are your winners from last week, man?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Cardinals beating up on the Bears. 29-9 was a great showing for this Cardinals team. I'm not excited about the fact that they're in my division and really seeming to come to life, but that was a huge win for them. I like the Chargers. They're really kind of starting to fall into what it is you think they can be. The defense is really coming along. The offense is really kind of shaping up. So I liked that win for them. And the Lions continuing to show that they're the best team in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. James, how about you?
As much as it pains me to say, the Ravens are definitely a big winner from last week. Beat the living tar out of the Broncos on,
Right.
on what was and I'm really mad that I did that game versus, previously the week they had lost to the Browns and nobody expected that, especially anyone on the Ravens squad. So you kind of had to figure that was going to go that way, but that still puts them in the big winner column. Beyond that, the Falcons putting some more wins together after a rough start in the season, losing pretty in an ugly fashion to the Steelers week 1. They're up to 6-3 now. They're quietly putting together a good season and looking like maybe a team that could be a force come postseason. So something to watch there. And then maybe the biggest winner of this last week, I got to beat Mitch to it, sorry. Saquon Barkley with that backwards leaping hurdle. What in the world was that? Who knows? It's just we can't thank the Giants enough for letting him free and letting him go to a good team where we can all see exactly what he is and just show up every week and just be a dominant, incredible athlete. I'm happy as a lifelong Penn State fan seeing Saquon shine again.
Hey, I hate Penn State, but I love Saquon Barkley right now. So, yes, Saquon Barkley is one of my winners. And two, I got to go with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdown passes last week. And what do you know? You may not make the playoffs now. So, other than that, damn, I would not want to be a Cincinnati fan.
You can't start slow every year. Like it's going to get you. You can't do it. I mean, every year they seem like they just don't play football early on, and then they go on a run to try and make it. And eventually that'll catch up with you.
And playing defense is kind of important. It seems like they're completely neglecting that side of the football.
Yeah, it's important. Who knew?
Almost like it's half of the game or something. I don't know.
Right. That's where my losers come into play. My first one is even though we won, I'm still going to give it to the Eagles with that second half embarrassment. That second half embarrassment was god awful. Actually, the defense and Nick Sirianni for not going for keep on going for those 4th downs and not taking the points. We left 8 or 9 points on the board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. And the Jaguars almost came back with the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. So,
I mean, you guys won in spite of your coach. right? Like it wasn't because anything he did. Like he was trying to lose you that game. The team was like, nah, it's cool. We're going to just go ahead and win right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's saying that for the past like 4 weeks during this win streak. Everyone's been saying, oh, spite of Nick Sirianni, we're still winning. I'm like, just fire the guy, please. But James, who are your losers from last week?
I mean, we saw another embarrassing performance by the Browns. So after finally getting a big win on the season, went right back down to where we expect them, which is less than mediocrity. And Jameis Winston just throwing any possible interception he can. Can the guy get 30 interceptions in half a season? We'll see. He's going for it, it looks like. So they certainly don't have anyone. Yeah, right? Hold my beer is right. We'll see what he can do because they're not going to march anybody else out there. The Texans, too. How do you lose to the Jets? What are we doing there? The Jets had 2 wins on the year. In how do you pull that one off? So those are probably my 2 biggest losers this week.
Yep. And Bo?
Yes, I'm gonna go with the Saints. It was kind of a loss and a win altogether, right? Because you lose to the Panthers, but you finally fired Dennis Allen, so that's a win. But they got guys hurt, and I mean this team is just falling apart. So they catch the L there. The Cowboys, they fall in that loser category. They lose Dak for
Again.
the year. Yeah, well, I mean, I think they're going to spend a lot of time in this category moving forward. So, and the locker room looks like it's starting to fracture a bit. So, with the coach going to be on his way out, Dak done for the year, I think Cooper Rush is going to have a tough road.
Might as well bring it up. Move on.
There we go. And then, weirdly, even in a loss, I have the Panthers in the loser bracket here. Because now they've lost the number 1 overall pick.
Ooh.
Because by winning that game, they now fall behind the Patriots. And they are beating up on the Giants right now, 10-0. So it looks like they might string another win here. So apparently they are not interested in having the top pick and actually getting better. They just want to hang out in mediocrity forever.
Yeah. So, James, how do you feel about Dak Prescott being out and Cooper Rush, who's 5-1 as a backup quarterback?
I mean, I guess it puts them in an interesting situation. You just gave Dak $60 million, and his backup is outperforming him. That's never a good sign for your franchise. I mean, it makes me kind of laugh just because where I live, the Cowboys fans that I know are very, very loud. And anytime the Steelers lose or any other team that they don't like, they're all over it. And man, it's been nice to see them quiet this year. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of karma coming for him for being obnoxious all the time.
Yeah. For me, it's just like, it sucks that he's injured. Like, prayers up to him. Hopefully everything's okay. But now we don't have to lose to Dak Prescott again. Now we can try to get this win despite Nick Sirianni, just move forward. Like, that's all I can think about. I want this division, and it's right there in our grasp. We need you guys to beat the Commanders.
Gonna try.
Need you guys to beat the Commanders. Well, yeah. Now, speaking of the Commanders, the quarterback is actually an underrated pick for MVP. Well, not MVP. Where the hell? I mean, oh, there we go. I clicked the wrong thing. Stupid me. But actually, who's the MVP right now? We're halfway through the season. So we got a lot of options out there. Let's start off with Bo on this one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Lamar's numbers are better than they were last year when he won it. So obviously, he's going to be in that conversation. But I don't know how you don't have Jared Goff on this list. Like, people are leaving him off it because it's not a sexy pick. But, I mean, dude is dominating out there. And he has I mean, what, he went on a 4-game stretch without an incompletion in the first half. Like that kind of stuff is insane. It just doesn't happen. So he has to be in that conversation. But I mean, it seems like Lamar has to be leading the way right now with all of his numbers being better than they were last year when he won. Some people are talking about Burrow, but I guess they forgot that he doesn't play football for the first month. So although he's had a couple of weeks that were impressive, the MVP is for the course of a season. Right. So as it sits right now, I'd say Lamar is a front runner and Goff is probably tucked in behind him at number 2. So normal guy, I would agree Derrick Henry should be in that conversation, but the MVP is not a team award. That is a quarterback award.
Right.
Yeah, for whatever reason. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen guys basically almost break the interception record in a season and
Yep.
still not be considered for MVP. So defensive players are basically out. Running backs, wide receivers, you'd have to have some kind of astronomical performance breaking every record. And
Yep.
if you're a wide receiver, you'd probably have to have your quarterback go down halfway through the season because otherwise his numbers are going to be too good from throwing you so many touchdowns.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, running backs are the only ones that even have a shot, right?
Yeah.
Because Peterson and Sean Alexander are the last 2 that did it. And I mean, that's over the course of over 20 years. Every other one has been a quarterback. So, I mean, unfortunately, they just don't give it to guys. And Derrick Henry probably won't get it for no other reason than there's just random games where they forget to use him, and he won't be able to break the record because of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I think-
I'm with you because he is a monster.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with the whole conversation on this, Bo. I don't have any differing opinion at all. Lamar has to be leading the category. Jared Goff should absolutely be in the conversation. I don't know how Joe Burrow can be a strong candidate, being that the team is as bad as they are, because they never put somebody at MVP who's on a losing team. That
Yeah,
just it doesn't work that way. Your
I
team
think
has
it's
to
been
be
30
good.
years.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years since there was somebody on a bad team that won.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow, we might as well take him out of the conversation right now for that. I can't imagine they somehow string together enough wins. They have to win almost all of their remaining games for him to be in consideration.
Yeah, I actually have a hot take. If they did not bench this quarterback, he could be in a conversation, and that's Justin Fields. If they did not bench him, he could have been in a conversation. Don't you think, James?
No.
Hey! Where were they before he got benched? Where were they before they got benched?
Yep,
No,
He only had 1 interception, right? At
He
that time?
one
would
interception.
statistically have to do something, though.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Through the first 5 games, he
Yeah.
had 8 fumbles. Just somehow Pittsburgh recovered all of them, and a lot of them were
Wait,
center to quarterback exchanges. You know, the kind of thing that you get benched for in middle school and high school?
Right.
Yes. That was happening twice a game. Every game, there was, of the first 4 games, there was 1 game where it didn't happen once. The other 3, it happened at least twice. So he's had a lot of really good luck to go with it. And if you look at his passing numbers, the completion percentage was really high, but the yardage was really low.
Yeah, he was throwing to the flat.
Yes.
All of us on the panel can throw to the flat.
Yeah. So
I gotta
his
look at his
first
stats
2
real
weeks, he
quick.
had some good deep bombs where he's going to Pickens and completing some of those, and then he just seemed to completely abandon it, and there was nothing going down the field. And then they started stringing together a couple of losses, and that's when Mike Tomlin said, "What we're seeing as an offensive team right now is not good enough to beat the teams in the second half of the schedule, where we have Washington, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Baltimore twice, Cincinnati twice. They weren't putting up enough points to beat these teams, and Mike Tomlin knew it. So as much as he had some very nice progress and some highlights and some good progression as far as his completion percentage, the last 2 games, he was almost 50% on his completion percentage. So he was regressing back to what we saw when he was in Chicago, and that's exactly why the move was made.
Because
Yeah, I mean, if you would have blended the Steelers and the Bengals together, you'd have a complete football team.
so mainly
And that's
it's
why
because of your
And
defense.
that's why they moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they moved on from Fields.
Okay. Well,
And Josh
wasn't
Allen
it
definitely has a shot.
What was that?
I said, and Josh Allen definitely has a shot.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah. So, didn't they just get they just got Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that explains it.
Couple weeks back, yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, no. Think about it. He wasn't in the conversation when they won Super Bowls. He didn't receive one vote in the year that he won, and he didn't receive one vote in the year they lost. And if you can't win in years you're winning rings, I don't know what you have to prove, but mostly he didn't start all year. And so he's just not going to have the stats to back it up. So even though, I'll take my little shot at Russ there from a real standpoint, he's just not going to have the numbers to do it. Too many of the other guys are playing well enough that are ahead of him that, the only way he even kind of gets in the conversation is if they win out and it's because of his arm. I don't see that happening, but I mean, there's a backdoor. He still wouldn't win it, most likely, but that's the only way he would get a vote, especially now that they're allowed to vote for up to 5 people.
All right. So we already saw the next topic. I brought it up earlier. Who won the NFL trade deadline? Let's start off with James here. Obviously, you're going to pick your words, but if you have any other ones.
I mean, I don't hate what Pittsburgh did. Mike Williams is not a flashy wide receiver as far as an addition, but only giving up a 5th-round pick, and it'll be whichever is the lower pick as far as the depth order between their pick or the one that they acquired from the Rams for the Kevin Dotson trade a couple of years ago. So it's not going to be a high pick in the 5th round to boot. I think he's an automatic upgrade over Van Jefferson, and you like the fact that he's a deep ball and contested catch guy, and Russ's specialty is that deep moon ball. So he's going to get some opportunities at what he does best, because that's also aligns with what Russ does best. Yep. So he's going to get some shots there. Whether or not it works real well, we'll find out. Only time will tell. I don't know if we even see a lot of it today per se, but in future weeks, definitely. The Preston Smith deal was a really good one, giving up just a 7th-round pick for a highly skilled outside linebacker pass rusher. It looks like Nick Herbig maybe is not coming back from that hamstring injury as early as they had hoped. They lost to Marvin Leal in that room also earlier in the season. Alex Highsmith already missed 4 or 5 games, but has come back and looks really good. If you want to be good running into the playoffs and making a push in the playoffs, you have to get after the quarterback, and you can't only have 2 guys. You have to be able to rotate guys. We saw this when the Eagles were at their best, where they had like 80 freaking sacks in 1 year. They just rotate entire lines. So you need to have that depth in the pass rushing room, and that really helped with it. So I'm definitely a fan of what Pittsburgh did with very, very little given up.
Yep. Bo.
Yeah, so, I mean, I like the addition that the Lions brought in, right? You have Hutch get hurt, and you go and you get an edge rusher to help solidify the piece that you lose. Obviously, he's not a Hutch, but, still a dynamic player that's going to add to a team that, has very real Super Bowl ambitions. And then the other one, I really liked Washington going and grabbing Lattimore.
Yeah.
And the big reason for that is they're going to go up against quite a few receiving duos, and for them to add a real, corner for the other side is a huge win for them. So I like both of those moves. Obviously, I don't have to get into the Steelers. They picked up exactly what they needed. So those are the 3 teams I think really kind of won the trade. And then, honorable mention, the one that won the trade just for hilarious reasons is the Cowboys, right? Because they went and got a guy that they can't use and couldn't start with the Panthers to be thrown the ball by a guy that is on IR. So this is, it seemed like a really smart pickup, and they paid more for him than they paid D-Hop. So, I mean, it seemed like a good bang for the buck for a team that is spiraling.
Yep. Lions too. Yep. I would have to go with the Lions and the Command. Actually, all 3. I'm trying to think, is there another team? Probably not even the Jets. I can't think of another team.
Well, I mean, if you want. That's
Okay.
that's the trades.
Oh, oh
Nice.
wow.
So
Okay.
that is the compensation and the trade.
You must have a lot of time on your hands. This is great.
I do not. I do not. I do work a lot of graphics and stuff in the middle of the night when I can't sleep.
There you go.
Oh
There you
wow. Okay. Damn. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, like some of these are hilarious though, because the Seahawks, they go and get Ernest Jones, which is not. I mean, you know, he's better than Baker, but I mean, it doesn't move the needle for the team, right? Like it's a small upgrade. Grabbing a defensive tackle obviously was good in theory, except you picked it up from a team that doesn't play defense. And if it's a defensive guy that they don't need, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. So, you know, some of these moves you're looking at, like, what are we doing? But then you have, you know, D-Hop going to KC for nothing, right? A conditional fifth. If teams could stop helping KC out, that would be fantastic. Like,
right. Even them picking up Josh Uche for a sixth. Come on, that's a pretty
Exactly.
decent pass rusher. How in the world are we giving him up for only a sixth?
yeah, no, I mean, it's stuff like that. You're just like, what are we doing right now? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I did also like the Tre'Davious White to the Ravens, helping kind of add some stability to that secondary also, because that is a spot that obviously if you watch the Thursday night game can be exploited. So he's gonna make an immediate impact.
How long's Humphrey out? Either one of you guys know on that?
No, I haven't heard officially how long that is.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that was the move that they had to make because of Marlon Humphrey's injury, right? Because
Yeah.
Marlon's been so
Yep.
good, you had to bring somebody in.
Yep.
Well, you know who lost the entire thing? The Titans. Thank you for. I mean, everyone hates the Titans right now. I mean, why would you give them DeAndre Hopkins for nothing? Everyone hates the Titans right now. Why would they're the teams of all teams? You telling me another team couldn't use Hopkins? You telling me that? Damn.
I mean, I feel like most teams could have used Hop.
Yeah.
Right?
You throw him
Yeah.
in the slot. I mean, he's going to be an upgrade from just about every other slot receiver.
Yeah.
It's almost like in the NFL draft when Xavier Worthy fell to him. We all just said, "You got to be kidding me! How in the world did they get the fastest wide receiver in the draft?
Exactly.
Like, this is not fair. Can someone please pick him so he doesn't go there?" Nope. Somehow they get exactly the pieces they need, and without having to do too much to get them.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating to watch. You're like, come on, guys. Like, maybe when you're looking at trades, you're just like, hey, maybe we will trade with the other 30 teams.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah. It sure seems like the stage is set for them to three-peat. I hope they don't, but it the way people keep gifting them players, it's like, man. And if you're D-Hop, you're excited, right? The Titans are paying your salary. That's the worst part, right? Like they trade you to a champion team and they're paying you. So when he did his like, I'm leaving town, but I have so much love for you. Of course you do. They're still paying you, and they basically gift wrapped a ring for you.
It's just like, here you go. But thank you, Titans, for AJ Brown. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for AJ. What are they doing? What is wrong with that organization?
I mean, they're blowing it up now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing. They're just tearing it all the way down now.
They should have done that years ago. Not now.
The GM should be fired. Like Vrabel shouldn't have been the guy that got canned. It should have been the GM because he was butt off with some of the worst talent possible, and they were buying in. Like they were the players that were there were trying. They just didn't have any players. Right? You had a Tannehill with a dead arm. You had a Derrick Henry that was hurt. You had D-Hop that couldn't receive a ball because you didn't have a quarterback. And then they just kept giving him like the land of misfit toys pieces to put in. And he gets fired. Somehow the GM doesn't. And now they're going to rip the thing all the way down. And somehow, because the Titans always get it wrong, the GM probably still going to be there.
And they'll take another underdeveloped quarterback in the first round, like Will Levis. Somebody with a strong arm that can't read a defense.
I mean, if you have Mason Rudolph as your savior, like, I mean, man, what are we doing?
Yeah. And that also shows how bad the rest of the roster is, because when Pittsburgh inserted him at the end of last season, he won 3 in a row.
Exactly.
So if you give Mason a little bit to work with, he can make it happen. But you give him nothing, he's not that guy.
Well, and what's crazy about it is it's not even like it lets you know how bad the offense is when you think about the fact that they have a top 5 defense. Like, it's probably one of the most underrated defenses out there because the offense is so inept, but they are either first to like 4th in just about every category, and they still can't win games. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Get Jeffrey Simmons out of here, please. Okay. Get out of there, please. NFL is just scripting out the 3-peat. Get D-Hop the ring before he... NFL is fake. Oh my.
Here we go.
It's just...
It's tinfoil hat time.
Yeah. Boy, is it.
Oh my God. People have been saying this for God knows how long. God dang, crazy. But Roger Goodell says the NFL is looking to go to Ireland. Look, yeah. We talked about that before we went live. Kind of cool. Really like that. James, how do you feel about NFL going to Ireland?
I mean, why wouldn't you? When
Right.
Dan Rooney is literally an ambassador to Ireland for the United States, why would you not have the Steelers go and play in Ireland? So I think this is something that at least the Rooneys have been trying to get into action for years, and would be very well welcomed, I think.
Yep. And Bo?
Yeah, I mean, all of the international games, like it just helps them continue to grow the brand. The Australian game, although it's supposed to be a preseason game, I mean, that'll be huge for them. I know they'll end up going back to Brazil. Mexico City, I know, is slotted again. So, I mean, it's going to be, as they continue to try and grow the brand, I mean, they're going to try and land in any bigger market they can. Obviously, Ireland isn't a huge market, but they have the in to go there. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Just don't give them hot garbage, please.
That's what they do. International games are always garbage games because they know they'll sell out a 100,000 seat stadium because they only get one shot at it. So it's not like you're catering to the 2 fan bases that are going. You're catering to every NFL fan in the area. So it can be a garbage game. They still get to see it live.
Yep. Well, speaking of games, it's time for us to make our predictions. And Bo, I picked the Panthers to win.
Did you?
I did not know that. I picked the Panthers.
Well, it's looking like a good pick because they are currently in the lead. And man, I took the Giants here, but wow, I shouldn't have.
I thought I took the Giants.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it. All right. These games are so bad this week. Has anyone seen it slate a game?
Yeah, there's only like 2 50-50 games.
Right?
Everything else is like just a landslide beatdown about to happen.
Yeah. James, who you got?
I'm
Patriots and the
certainly
Bears.
hoping for this to be one of those landslide beatdowns. I would love to see the Bears beat the living tar out of the Patriots. So that's the way I'm going to go on this one.
All right. Bo?
Yeah, I have the Bears here too. I don't think it's going to be that though, because the Patriots defense is decent and the Bears offensive line is just hot trash. So this will probably be a competitive game all the way through, but I do think the Bears get it done.
Yeah. And Vic says
Exactly.
there's 2 good games. That's it. All right. I got the Bears.
One of them was on Thursday.
The Bills and the Colts. I got the Bills. Anyone going to the Colts here?
God,
No, I can't see how you can. They're a complete disaster right now.
Oh yeah.
Anyone going with the Broncos?
I had to.
They're just tapping out of the game altogether.
Hey, they're 5-4. I did not even know that.
Yeah, so this will actually be a better game than you think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, because KC actually doesn't play good football overall. Like, I understand they're undefeated, but when you watch them, they haven't played a good game yet. And the Broncos are just kind of sneaky good, especially on defense. They have the second-ranked defense in just about every category. So they're going to give KC all they can handle. The problem is they struggle to score points. So it'll probably be a close game, but KC's going to win.
Yeah. Oh my! I mean, the
Exactly.
Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons here. Anyone else going? Someone going with the Saints?
No. And of course I have the Chiefs on the last one too, like you guys. Got to go Falcons here too. I mean, the only thing is that sometimes that interim head coach gives the spark for their team. Sometimes they win because of it. I'm still going Falcons though.
Yeah, well, and it is, to your point, it is the first game with the new coach. So, it's usually the first game with a backup quarterback or the first game with the new coach. They get the spark. They find a way to win. Usually if it's the quarterback, it's because there's no tape on the guy. If it's a coach, it's because nobody knows how he's going to react to stuff. But I feel like the Falcons are just too much of a better team.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers, if they had the wide receivers, it could be good.
Exactly.
But Christian McCaffrey, he's not coming back, right? No?
He is.
Oh, he is.
He is supposed to play today.
Then I got the Niners. Either way, I got the Niners.
I was going to say I had the Niners without him.
Yeah, me too. I don't think this is too difficult. Give Baker some weapons again, and he'll put up a mess. But it's got to be Niners.
Here we go. Finally. Bo, who you got?
So I do have the Commanders at home. This is going to be the game of the week right here. Like this one's going to be a battle. I'm excited about it, especially because I don't have a horse in the race. But I think the Commanders being at home, I think that'll be the difference. Especially they add that defensive piece. On Pittsburgh's side, they're not really going to be able to use that receiver yet. So I think the development of the pieces that the Steelers grabbed will be just behind what Washington has. So Washington comes away. It'll be a field goal kind of game, though.
I'm going with the Steelers. I need the Commanders to lose.
Hopefully we can accomplish that for you today, Mitch. Coming out of the bye, we've got a lot of guys coming back from injury. Starting center Zach Frazier will be back. Cameron Sutton coming back from his suspension for 8 games. This will be his first returning game. There's a few guys coming back here that should be able to help in some areas that Pittsburgh need the help. Also, Cordarrelle Patterson might finally be back for the first time in 4 or 5 weeks. So a few guys that could offer some spark to the offense and maybe just make it a little bit more difficult for Washington. I'm going to say Pittsburgh wins on a close one.
I
like this. Last time the week schedule was terrible. It was all underdogs. And you know what? You're not wrong. Like I got absolutely smoked in Pick'em that week.
Yeah.
Right. That is crazy. That is just crazy. Yeah. Steelers for me. I don't care by how much. I just want the dub.
Yep.
Oh my living God. The Eagles almost lost to the Jaguars. So I'm still going with the Vikings. I'm still going with the Vikings here. Most overrated quarterback in the league, Trevor Lawrence. Bo, you going Vikings?
Yeah, because their defense is actually better than the Eagles anyway. So I'm going to go with Vikings here.
I'm with you guys on the Vikings. Should we be talking about Sam Darnold for comeback player of the year?
Can't. They changed the rule on it. So you can't.
What?
Yeah, you can't come back from just being bad.
Oh.
So after
They have to put
After-
some kind of stipulations on this thing because they just change it from year to year. One year it's just you sucked the year before. The next year it's you had some gruesome injury, and you never know what the heck the standard is.
So they changed it for this year because of the fact that Gino and who won it last year?
What was it, Hamlin?
No, he didn't. He should have. It was Flacco won it,
Oh, okay.
right? And so they changed it because Hamlin should have done it by just suiting up, right? Like you take one snap in the NFL after literally being resuscitated on the field. I feel like comeback player of the year should happen, right?
Yeah.
And then the year that Gino won, that was the year Saquon came back from injury and balled out, right? So, but it was injury related. So that would have made sense in both of those. And instead it was two guys that just came back from, playing for the Jets. So, they changed it for this year because of that, which rules Darnold out.
Oh, thank God.
That's good.
Otherwise, I think he would have won.
Yep. All right. We're all going Vikings.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're all going Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all going Eagles.
You know it.
I don't even have to say anything.
I can't even pretend to go Cowboys on
No,
it.
I mean, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Jets at the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I
On
got
this
the
one.
Cards.
They're really gaining momentum lately, right? Let's give them credit. The Cardinals are starting to look like a decent team, so I'm going Cardinals too.
Yeah, their young guys are ahead of schedule,
Mhm.
so they're playing good football.
You know why they're playing good football? Because there's a new Call of Duty game that just came out.
Well, no, usually that's when he starts sucking.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite this time. You
Yeah.
know?
They must have hid the playbook in one of the in-game side missions.
Or he
Right.
just really doesn't like this one.
Yeah, that could be too.
The Lions at the Texans.
Yep.
Low key. We're all going Lions.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Especially
right?
after, the Houston Texans really laying an egg last week against the Jets. It's got to be the Lions just dominating them.
Well, and they're beating the brakes off of people. It's not like
Yeah.
the Lions are sneaking by people. Like they are beating people.
Yeah.
And the only team they lost to was week 1 against the Bucks, who, when the Bucks were healthy, they could hang with anybody.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it took KC last week overtime to get by them, and they were missing their 3 top receivers. So, I mean, I feel like the way Houston is playing, the Lions are gonna get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Lions. Dolphins at the Rams. Why do I feel like this could be a low-key good one? Very low-key, but I'm still going with the Rams. James, how about you?
I'm not really sure why you think it's going to be a good one, but
I said low-key.
No, I don't have a lot of faith in either team, but a little bit more in the Rams at this stage in the season. So, got to see Miami actually put something together for me to start picking them. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I mean, you need to see some sort of semblance of defense for the Dolphins. So I think that'll be the thing, is the Rams will be able to stop them a couple of times, and the Dolphins can't stop anything. So I'm going to take the Rams here. If you mean low-key good, the score is going to be close, I think that's probably accurate. But
Yeah.
it's not going to be good football.
No, when I said low-key, I meant the score. I think the score will be close.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. But really, Vic, the Giants tried a flea flicker on 3-1. The receiver got open. The ball never got out.
Shocker.
Damn.
But
Damn.
Danny Dimes wasn't getting it done. Who knew?
And guys, that's your Monday night game.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well,
I don't know.
That's because so many of these you didn't even need to discuss. You're just like, oh yeah, that's about to be a horrible game.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the whole schedule.
Which,
Right.
to Rob's point earlier, there could be a lot of upsets just because last time it was like that. I went 6-10 that week on Pick'em because of all the upsets. I was just like, I mean, Vegas cashed in. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have every upset because everybody's betting the high end, and then it was just underdog city.
Right. And I'm going to say this one thing before we head out. The Raiders fan base, whenever something good happens to the Chiefs or whenever they lose, it's hilarious. Every time. Every time. It is great. It is great.
So actually, I guess I do have a question for you guys. What do you think of the Raiders bringing in Norv Turner? Now he's not going to be their OC. From the sound of it, it sounds like he's just going to be a advisor. But I mean, Norv Turner offenses are no joke.
Right.
Now they need players. Don't get me wrong. Like, they need players.
James, how do you feel about that?
I mean, anytime you're able to bring in a really talented coach like that, you just do it. You figure out where you can put them on the staff. You create a position if you have to get a really good mind in your offensive or just anywhere on your coaching staff. The Steelers did that a few years ago with the defensive coach out of Miami when he got railroaded in that whole head coach situation. He came in and really helped Pittsburgh on the defensive side of things for that one season. So I'm all for it. If Pittsburgh wanted to go out and hire like every ex-head coach and just create positions for them on whatever their specialty was, I would do it, because I'd have 10 linebackers coaches. Who cares? Just give me all the guys that know what they're talking about. And a guy like Norv is going to find some stuff. There's going to be some things on this roster that nobody thought to do of, some ways of using some guys with some talents that are just sitting there on a bench twiddling their fingers with nothing to do because nobody had faith in them. He's going to come up with some stuff and make some of their games exciting again.
The coach I thought would get some traction to try and drag him in out of retirement with all of the new kickoff rules and stuff. I really thought a team would go try and grab Jeff Fisher, right? Because he was such a fantastic special teams coach and always came up with goofy stuff anyway. Now you add all these new rules. I feel like he would be on the edge of cheating all the time, but would be scoring points.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, agreed with all you guys. And then how about this? The Raiders kept Max Crosby. Everyone thought he would be traded at the trade deadline. Kind of funny. No one wanted to know. Crosby. I do too.
I mean, if you're going to build a roster, you need to have some pieces in place, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like Crosby is a really good piece on your defense. Trading him away, if you're going to do that, you better get a lot of assets in return. And even so, draft picks are just lottery tickets. You could have the first 3 picks in the draft and miss on all 3 of them because it just doesn't work out in the NFL like we all thought it was gonna.
So the way I was thinking about it, though, like it would have made sense to get rid of him. And the only reason I say that is the Raiders aren't going to be quite bad enough to get one of the 2 quarterbacks in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which means you're at least one more year away. Crosby is 26, 27. Right.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
And so he's right in there. Mm-hmm. But so you might have a quarterback about the time his contract is up anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might as well just go grab a couple extra draft picks and start to rebuild this thing because you don't have any other pieces. You already got rid of the one dynamic receiver you had, right? You don't have a franchise quarterback. Your line is okay. You have Crosby. Like that's the dude you got. And I mean, it seems like at this point, yeah, just rip it all down. Start over, get what you can out of Crosby because he would still give you a crazy amount of draft capital, right? Because he's always in that conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, because he's not going to add anything to your team by the time you have the other pieces.
Yeah. And, yeah, he's 27 years old, by the way. Crosby.
Yeah, so he'll be 30 by the time they have a quarterback.
Yeah, so it just depends on how long his career goes, right? If he's one of those guys that can play at a high level till he's 34, 35 years old,
Sure.
then maybe hanging on to him is a decent idea. But you have no way of knowing that. So
No, exactly.
yeah, I think you're right in that aspect. To me, like if the conversation were Pittsburgh and let's say they're sitting at 2-6 right now instead of 6-2, and people were saying, well, trade away TJ Watt and then rebuild the team, I would be staunchly against it just because TJ is so incredible. I would
Sure.
at least want to have that one guy I can build around. But I get it. You know, that Raiders team could be 3 or 4 years before they're any good again.
Well, and they still have to go through a division that has a growing Broncos, a growing Chargers, and the back-to-back Super Bowl champions. So, I mean, it's not like it's an easy road for them to get there. And then on the other end of it, you look at Crosby and you're like, man, it would have been cool if you'd have been traded to the Lions or something to actually have a shot at a ring, right? Because they don't give you one for being last.
Nope.
It's none of that participation trophy stuff.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
Steelers versus Commanders is going to be a good game. I'm excited for that one, and I actually get it on my cable. I get that game. So there we go. Oh, you don't?
Nope, I have to leave my house.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, got to go to the. DJ just threw a pick.
That is why I went with the Panthers.
Not Danny Dimes.
So wait, James, where do you have to go for the games then?
I'm gonna go to Permane Brothers today and go watch the game there. So there's some local places, bars, restaurants you can go to that have some pretty good food, and they don't mind you sitting there because they know you're gonna spend money. So
Right.
I used to pay for the ticket, but I just can't stomach it now because it seems like where I live anyway, all the Steelers games are on except for maybe 2 or 3 a year. And I don't want to spend $500 for the NFL ticket to watch 2 or 3 games from my house. I could spend almost that much to go to the games.
True.
And actually,
let's be honest, like there's nothing wrong with going to the sports bar and hanging out.
No, you don't have to get hammered at a sports bar, you know.
Not unless you lose horribly.
And actually, I know a couple websites where you can watch the game for free right on your computer. So if you want, I can just send you them so that way you can just watch and don't have to go anywhere. Hook it up right to your TV and you're good. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Social today, but I might do that in the future.
Yeah, I got you. Steelers defense will have a field day all over Jalen Daniels.
I think it's going to be a tight game, man.
It's going to be a close one. It's going to be very, very close. I want the Steelers to win so bad.
I certainly hope that you're correct. But Jaden Daniels has looked very good, and he's very elusive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the biggest thing Pittsburgh can do is if you get a chance to hit him. Like, don't just tag him down. This isn't two-hand touch. Make sure you put a real hit on him, and maybe you can make him a little nervous because he is probably the skinniest quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, guys, so that's going to conclude the NFL Sunday Morning Show. We're here every single Sunday at 10 a.m. on the Hardcore Sports Network and Football Talk with Bo, YouTube, and Facebook. So, Bo, let the people know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, so you can find me right here Sunday mornings on my YouTube channel right there on the screen at Football-Talk and Roku TV 5 days a week.
James.
At Steelers by the Lake on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. We actually do an update an hour before kickoff every day for the Steelers game so that you know what's going on with the injury situation. So follow us on TikTok and you'll find those as well.
Awesome. And then, yes, guys, you can follow me and Mitch Coxey on YouTube, Twitter, Hardcore Sports Network, Stream Punk Entertainment, and my second YouTube channel, MK Meets World. Make sure you guys check them all out. Without further ado, guys, we'll catch you all later. Enjoy your football Sunday. I get a little bit of a break until the Eagles at 4:20. So, catch you guys later and peace.